Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. I thought I would record myself while I made my family's favorite dish. These are quinoa patties. The recipe, which is in the description, is a vegetarian recipe, but I make it into a vegan recipe. Uh-oh, looks like it's not going to be very quinoa-y. The recipe calls for half a cup of quinoa, but looks like I only have a fourth of a cup. So I guess I should have prepared a little more before I started the video. Oh well. The recipe would come out just as good, just won't have a lot left over. So we are going to start with in a small saucepan. What I do in a small saucepan, normally I do a cup of water and I allow that to boil. And once that's boiling, then I add the quinoa. Oh, I found the strainer to rinse the quinoa with. So I take some purified water, put it into the saucepan, and allow that to boil. Then in a separate skillet, I saute some onions. So these I forgot to cut up. So I'm just going to cut up some onions and allow those to saute just to make them nice and soft. This recipe doesn't call for a lot of ingredients. That's something else I love about it. It's fast and it's simple. But the onions really add a very, very nice flavor to the patties. So we're just going to saute those. And this recipe, as you'll see in the description box, the link in the description box, they're patties. But because of my lack of time, I don't make them into patties. You'll see towards the end, I just make it just more of a dish. But the patties, honestly, I like them even better because you kind of, fry them a little bit so they're nice and crispy on the outside and warm on the inside. But if you don't have time just like me, don't worry about molding them into patties because sometimes as moms you have to pick and choose your battles. So I went ahead and added the quinoa to the boiling water and just took it off so the burner could cool down a little bit. And I went ahead and already cut up the broccoli. We'll cut it off for the stalk. So usually I would do 2 heads of broccoli, but since I'm cutting this recipe in half, I am only doing 1. But normally you would just do 2. And I am checking on the onions just to make sure that they evenly saute. So now let's get the rest of our ingredients out. Breadcrumbs. So these are just simple breadcrumbs. And then we have some vegan cheese. I use the Trader Joe's brand. It's not my favorite taste-wise, but it works really, really well in this recipe. So our onions are done. So we're going to go ahead and take those out and put them in a bowl, allow those to cool off, and then add our broccoli. So the broccoli we're just going to steam for about 5 minutes. I like to just steam it so it makes it a little softer for my son, my toddler, to eat, but still leaves in a lot of the nutrients. So I just took it off the burner so the burner could cool down a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out our other ingredients. So we do 1/3 of a cup of vegan cheese and 1/4 of a cup of the breadcrumbs. Oh, I found a little snack. Don't mind if I do. Okay, so let's just check on the quinoa. Just kind of stir it up a little bit, make sure there's nothing sticking to the sides. Oh, while I'm cooking, I'm watching Mango Island Mama, I believe that's her name. She did a video on how she works out as being a busy mom. Oh, sorry, I had to get something out the cabinet. Look at my little cute measuring cups. Just the small things in life that bring me joy. So it looks like the quinoa is split. The little white pieces are off. So I just take the top off to make sure the rest of the water can evaporate. Because if it's too much water, then your dish will come out a little on the mushy side. Just checking on the broccoli. I just make sure the knife can kind of go through it fairly easily, but Like I said, we don't want anything that's too mushy. But so that's done, and we are going to cut up our broccoli. In the meantime, I'm watching Ellen vs. Also, she's a super eco-friendly mom that gives a lot of great tips on keeping your house toxic-free. So this is just some olive oil from Earth Fare. I'm going to let that warm up while I'm doing this because we're getting close to the part where we add everything together. So I'm going to chop this up enough that it's easy for my toddler to eat, and makes it a little easier in the dish also if the pieces. I totally forgot about the chia seeds. To turn this vegetarian recipe into a vegan recipe, I replaced the eggs with chia seeds. So I do about an tablespoon of chia seeds and 3 tablespoons of water, and I allow that to soak for about 15 minutes. Normally I would do this before I start my recipe, but I was probably just too distracted with some of these YouTube videos that I totally forgot. But that's okay, it just takes about 15 minutes. So as that's soaking, I'll go ahead and finish everything else up so that all I have to do is add the chia seeds. So it looks like our quinoa is done. I usually like it to cool down a little bit. Okay, we'll just go ahead and add that. My son just got up, so I'm running out of time here. So if you add everything together while it's warm, it's still totally fine, but I usually do like everything to cool down first. So we're just going to mix this up really well. And now add our 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs and our 1/3 cup of vegan cheese. Okay, so I cut out some of the video to spare you. But it looks like our chia seeds are ready. So just like an egg, these are pretty gooey. So we're going to make sure we get it all out of the container and then mix it up really well so it can be evenly distributed. Mix, mix, mix. All right, let's add it to our tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just going to pat this down so that all of it can reach the heat on the skillet. Oh, this is so tasty, guys. I really can't wait. I highly recommend you give the recipe a try. If you do, just give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments how it turned out for your family. Okay, my son is ready to eat. So as it starts to brown, we're just going to start flipping it over a few times just to make sure it's heated well, and just throw it on a dish. I wouldn't say it's the prettiest dish in the world, but man, is it tasty and satisfying.